I'm Andreas, and some might remember that 4 years ago at HHC 2007, which was also in San Diego, I showed an advanced equation lab for the 50G. 2008 in Corvallis, I showed something I called the multilingual packs, and 2009 at the HHC in Fort Collins, I gave only a quick and brief first overview of an improved GUI for the built-in numerical solvers. So since then, time has passed, and sadly HP has done nothing for the 50G in almost 3 years. And I'm more than a little bit puzzled about HP's disinterest about the top-notch machines. And it looks like, as I'm the only one who is still programming for the 49G platform, that probably means that I'm nuts, but if I wouldn't be nuts, then I wouldn't be here anyway. So. Let's have an overview of what I've done and what I have bundled now all together in what I call here the 49G Plus HP 50G OS extension pack. I did an additional language besides the language I already have. I coded a new and an advanced help. I coded GUI solve, which besides having other substantial advantages, is an example how built-in application could take advantage of the larger screen that is available in this machine. Whereas GUI Mess is a complete new graphical user interface for the built-in multiple equation solver. Surprisingly, this has been lacking for years, in my opinion. Also, HP Solve is used as a key feature in advertising these machines. If you look at the closed package of it, and if you turn it around, then it says, hey, HP Solve. And I've put all of this together and would like to show this how an improved equation lab with the new solver interfaces are merged together. So all of this is now combined together, and it's being available in various languages, thus covering all major countries. Except Chinese.
I'm gonna say it.
Yep. There's probably no need for it anymore to do it in Chinese.
Chinese, does it even matter? I mean, that's the only language around.
Yeah, but my Chinese needs improvement.
I have 23,000 characters. What are you going to do there?
That needs improvement too.
Okay.
The characters are your part. And well, to go back, I've put all of this together and call it an extension pack of the operating system, which is a much more complete approach than what is existing currently known as ROM 215. But of course, like Tim just mentioned, there's still room for improvement and adding lacking features. So let us start with the additional language that has been added to the multilingual packs. Besides English, Italian, Spanish, French, and German, I made the multilingual pack available in Brazilian and Portuguese. So all messages of the operating system and the whole equation library, including all variables, has been translated to Brazilian and to Portuguese. So this means that all major countries except Chinese, which,
you know, China's not a major country.
well, of course, China is a major country, but from a traditional, from a Western point of view,
And that's the only one that matters.
So all major countries in Europe.
Andreas, don't worry, we're on your side.
Okay. allowing native machines for a lot of countries, and of course I can extend it to any desired languages as long as it fits into the bitmaps, of course, because the screen resolution is lower than on the new machine shown. Okay, this is a picture showing the Brazilian equation library. I forgot to click earlier. When the 49G was introduced in 1999, an interesting feature came with it. It had a help for all CAS commands. This could have been an interesting feature, but several flaws shows up if one takes a deeper look at the inner guts of it. For example, some entries do not fit on the screen. So this is a help that does not fit on the screen. And there's no mechanism that you can shift the screen. Also, the examples in the original help are shown in plain text. Now, for 2011, this is really innovative, that we have plain text instead of pretty print. Also, the examples of the help in the built-in CAS are only available in algebra mode. Now this is really great, because how useful is an algebra expansal of a CAS command, usually requiring more than one argument for an RPN user? I mean, to me it's completely no help, because I only use RPN. So, also the related commands in the in the original help are limited to a maximum of 3 commands, and they are not named. You see that here, it just says C1, 2, and 3, whereas here you can see the names. And of course, the next question that arises is, why are there no help for the non-CAS commands? So here you see there is a help button missing, but I can provide help for all commands with my software. So in summary, it can be said, therefore, that introducing a help system was a great idea, but in the way it's implemented at the moment, it is of little use. I know that there is a software called HLP49, which is a step into the right direction because it covers the non-CAS commands, but it's not implemented into the operating system. It also uses the built-in text editor, so everything is just plain text. And in this software, the partly examples included are only available in RPM, so that's not no help for an algebra user on the other side. In order to solve the addressed issues, I've written a complete new help, which is extremely fast and has the following benefits. The help text allows a detailed description of the operation within a combined text and graphic area, allowing an unlimited length of the help. The example is shown in pretty print, and depending on the mode of the machine, it is either shown in RPN mode or in algebraic mode. Of course, the same applies to the result of the example. If the example is pushed onto the stack, either the RPN or the algebraic example is pushed depending on the chosen mode of the calculator. The flag settings affecting the operation of the function or the command are shown, and in the next step, the new help could be combined with the existing flag browser to give detailed descriptions about the used flags. Also, there is no limit for the number of related commands or functions. And the font of the help is switchable, therefore font 8, 7, 6 or mini font can be used to show the help. And if needed, the screen can be shifted, so basically there's no limit. The help can be as fancy as you want it. When the 49G Plus was introduced, it was advertised with having a 30% larger screen than the previous models. What is quite funny is that, in fact, the very same advertising text, view calculators on the large, 131 times 80 pixels, 30% more usable space than the 49G Plus model, high contrast display with adjustable type size, was even used when the 49G Plus was replaced with the 50G, which is, in case of the 50G, of course not true, as the displays is the same in both models. This misleading sentence was removed from HP's official data sheet later, but you can still find it frequently in the web, on web pages of dealers and retailers offering the 50G, and I even found it on a distributor's page. So there's still the wrong information after all these years at some places, or at a lot of places. And maybe something is true, what they say about marketing. But before we get carried away too far, let us go back to topic. So, in a recent ROM, the stack and the plotting environment are using this extra space. But most of the built-in applications actually still do not use it, like the solver environment, for example. So, maybe anybody from HP can tell me why this extra space is not used. So, besides taking advantage of the larger screen, other improvements to the built-in solver environment are gaining even more space by turning off the title and or the help line and or the menu line. And support for all font sizes and the mini font is given. You can give a title to your equation. Built-in constants are filtered out, so they do not appear. And rapid data enter, as multiple arguments are allowed on the command line. And a clean exit from the solver is possible by pushing a button that deletes all the variables that you've been used during the solving process. And also, this replacement code runs from relative addresses in the RAM. The code is much faster than the code in the ROM that runs from absolute addresses. So it's a complete replacement. Let us talk about the MES, the multiple equation solver, which, by the way, was introduced in 1989. So that's now 20 years, over 20 years. The MES is the heart of the equation library, thus allowing to solve for more than one variable. When the MES was designed, way back in 1989 as a plug-in card for the HP 48SX, the whole system was consistently designed with a menu-based interface. Everybody who has a 48SX might remember that. Later, when the slow GUI stuff of the 48GX was implemented and consistency started to soften, some built-in programs got a GUI donated, but some got none. For reasons unknown to me, the later is true for the MES, as we all know, which, at least for me, is double astounding, as HP Solve has been used as a key feature in advertising the machines for years. When the 49G with its algebra mode was introduced, consistency of the machines was softening even more. There is actually a design flaw in algebraic mode. One cannot use any menu-based application that takes its argument from the stack. That was no big deal because the early ROMs had no mass and no equation lib, and for the other numeric solver environments, a GUI exists. But with later ROMs, the mass came back, which is of course a good choice, and the equation lib has simply been recompiled with the new entries of the 49G, and no adjustment at all was made. So you cannot use the equation lib in algebraic mode. What's the use of it then? And instead of adapting or changing or innovating the code, simply the manual was changed, stating that if you want to use the equation lib, one has to fulfill certain conditions for it. So you're a new user of the 50G, and you've gotten all through this and haven't been lost on the way until here, then I guess that this gives one the rest of it. And while HP was inventing, I took the liberty to write a new graphical user interface with a built-in multiple equation solver. Let's have a closer look at the GUI mess. Of course, everything that I've been said about GUI solve applies for GUI mess, so you can more space, change the font, etc. Otherwise, the meaning of the menu-based labels have been taken to the GUI to provide consistency, so the same labels are used for an undefined value, a user-defined value, a value found in the last solution, a user-defined value used in the last solution. And as it is a graphical user interface for the mass, it can be used in RPN mode and algebra mode. So in summary, we have a design flaw in algebraic mode. Any menu-based application that takes its argument from the start cannot be used, for example, the built-in menu-based solvers, and therefore the built-in equation lib cannot be used in algebraic mode because the default solver for it is the menu-based mess. Now, what can be done about this? Simply use an improved equation library. Pardon? More than enough. So, I wrote an improved equation library where you can do the navigation through a tree view. That is a lot easier than using separate screens. More information can be shown to the user, and there is no danger of getting lost in the data set. Also, navigation through a tree view is widely known and accepted and used in a lot of programs. A well-known application is probably the Windows Explorer. Other specialized applications that comes in mind are the Sept GUI, but of course we do not want to hear anything here this weekend from former Sept CEO and former HP CEO LA, and I do not mean the city. You got it. If an equation is shown, the name of the equation and the name of the higher branch are presented as additional information. GUI solve and GUI mess are fully integrated. If one chooses to solve for a single equation, then GUI solve is used. If one chooses to solve for all or for multiple equations, then GUI mess is used. The use of the graphical user interface is customizable, so flag controls whether the menu-based solvers or the GUI pendants are used. Another advantage of my improved equation library is the fact that after solving for a single equation or for a set of equations, one is still inside the equation library. So changing to another subject can easily be done, whereas in the original equation lib, after solving, one must restart the equation library and navigate through it completely again. So we get a simple navigation through tree structure. Okay, that does not fit completely. Formulas can be arranged according to the needed workflow. Easily creation of specialized equation libraries. We have a switchable font. Title and menu can be turned off in order to gain more space. We have an integrated help of the application, and we have a dynamic soft menu which changes at each move the cursor makes, and depending on the item of the dataset, they show different information and act according to the item of the dataset. So here's an example I once coded for a specialized equation library. The development time needed for it is usually short. Of course, it depends on how sophisticated you want the data set to be, how many equations there are. Almost anything is possible, including variable lists with two different set of units, so SI and or English units. You can have lengthy explanations if desired, pictures and or animations, customize help, etc. But it's usually an advanced data set can be coded in less than 4 weeks. I did an English one for the most common formulas in economic, and also I have two German examples for electrical engineering and fluid mechanics, but I don't know if I do an English version of it because it's really tough English. So here's the conclusion. Oh, and Tim left. No, Tim is still there. So. Because of course it's a question to the HP calculator group that there has been no ROM update for the 50G for almost 3 years. I do not know what it means, but it's actually not a good sign. I can deliver native machines for all major countries, and it can be extended to almost any desired language. We can have a true help system for all commands integrated into the operating system. We have better solver environments, and with customized equation libraries we could focus on professional users and students. And there is an advanced and improved equation library ready. So with minimum development effort needed to create customized and professional solutions targeting at different industries through specialized equation libraries. So that would be mechanical, electrical, civil, engineering, chemistry, petroleum, physics, statistics, whatever you want. And last but not least, through ease of use, through ease of use for the machine, raising acceptance of it. And well, this what I've done is it is ready. It's available, and it can be implemented with almost zero development effort and zero development time needed. So it's breathing life back into the 50G, giving it a competitive position in the market again. Well, that's it.
In your solver, let's say, for example, you have a set of equations you're doing a multiple equation solver in. Do you have the ability to specify certain, let's say, units? Let's say you want to input pressures and you want to give the user a choice of, say, pounds per square inch or feet of water column or something like that. Can you specify those and give the user a menu to choose the units? And likewise, can you then specify the outputs, the units for those outputs?
Well, yes and no. If you do it through a data set, you can specify the units you want, but basically the solver is not the right address to do it because it reads the variables and uses the units it finds there. But if you come from the outside, you can override it. So it's kind of a yes and no answer, because you have to do some work advanced. You have to do some before work and then you can guarantee that. And also the same as you can specify a target unit you are solving for.
Right.
So that is basically it's possible, but you have to do a little bit work around it as you use it. Any more? Yes.
Is this something that would be inserted into the ROM, or could it exist somehow patched into it? How does it actually?
It is patched. It is actually it's a lot of patches. When they made the 48SX, they envisioned that somebody from the outside might come, and they provided a couple of hooks, and you can hook yourself in there, but it's not really easy, and it's not really documented, and you run into a couple of problems because, like Tim earlier said, there has been so much work done on this system that if you change something, there might always be the danger you break something else. So, but unless HP does not change the layout it is at the moment, I know all the hooks I have to go through.
I see.
See, we're just helping you out, that's what. You just know you'll.
I don't know what I would do without you. But I heard you're already married.
Is that a German thing? I'm just
I can tell a joke about that. We have a gay Secretary of State, and we have a gay mayor in Berlin. Now think about it, if he runs for president and keeps the same Secretary of State, that would be kind of funny. But
This is not going to happen. For other reasons.
yes.
Just a quick question. Did you intend to name that a gooey mess?
It's only one S.
Okay. Yeah, it's only one S, and that's an abbreviation used by Hewlett Packard, so that has been used all over the years. So I stuck with it. Okay, I got it. Yeah, I got it. It's late. It's early, yes.
Very good. Thank you.
Thank you.